And this idea that archetypes are both personal and transpersonal, they are relationships. So I know in this event that we're talking about the elements from many different perspectives. And so I want to encourage us to think yes and instead of either or. And that as I'm going through the elements as they are identified in East Asian medicine and five element theory, that the way that I'm talking about fire might be a little bit different from the way that we think about fire in terms of the four elements, right? And I don't want us to get too hung up about it. And so I have these two pictures of the Sahara Desert and the second pictures of Antarctica. And both of these pictures are depicting the sun. So the sun as an archetype is fire, right? The sun is fire, but our relationship to fire in a desert is going to be very different from our relationship to fire if we live in the Arctic, right? So fire is fire, but this fire is not that fire. Neither system is wrong, but we are invited to hold that whenever we're talking about these elements, we are talking about a relationship. And so the specific relationship with the elements that I'm talking about comes out of East Asian philosophy. It's different than the element system that we might find in astrology or in the Native American system or in the Dagara system or in the chakra system, but they're not in conflict with one another. They're just describing different types of relationships with these natural forces, which was consistent across humanity. So when we talk about elements being archetypes, we're talking about what we call in modern science neuroplasticity, or this idea that neurons that fire together wire together. So I think of these as like grooves in the brain, where when one thing is triggered, it automatically triggers another thing by association. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about an archetypal imprint. In my work, I call these associated pathway signatures. So when we're talking about the five elements, we're looking at signatures that include particular thought patterns and perspectives, particular emotions, a particular movement of that life force or dynamic energy or that chi. And we're also talking about timing.